everybody. This is Walt.
This is Max.
And you are listening to our podcast, The ABCs of Rock and Metal.
This is Anti-Seminal with Useless Info Inc., and we are deep in the seas. Today we are doing The Cult, right, Walt?
The Cult.
So, Walt, what are the seminal albums from The Cult, in your opinion?
If you ask me, it's got to be Love, Electric,
Love.
And Sonic Temple.
I think it's pretty clear. It's those three.
Yeah, it's those three. The
We're going to
trifecta.
do an Anti-Seminal album. Which one are we going to do today?
We're doing Ceremony.
Ceremony, which came right after Sonic Temple, right?
Right after.
1991.
Which
So-
was 2 years after, right?
Yeah.
Around
I
2
think
years
so.
after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic Temple, that was kind of like their biggest one.
Yeah, it was a big commercial
Fire
record.
Woman,
Yeah.
Edie Chow Baby.
Yeah, the big commercial record.
Yeah.
But I still love it.
It's a good album, but we want to give some love to Ceremony today. So a little bit of context here. From what I understand, Ian Astbury, the lead singer, of course, Billy Duffy, the guitarist, they rarely appeared in the studio at the same time for this
Yeah.
album. Like, what?
Tensions were rising.
Yeah, so was it just like a personality thing? Or
Over the years,
do
yeah.
you know any more about the story?
A friend of mine that was a drummer from Killing Joke toured with them.
Okay.
Big Paul Ferguson.
Around that time? Okay.
Right before, actually. Right
Yeah.
before Sonic Temple. Around the Electric Love days.
Okay.
And he said that they couldn't stand each other.
Really?
They did not get along. It was the Joe Perry, Steven Tyler vibe going
Yeah.
on. They just tormented each other. They did not get along.
Wow.
They were not getting along when they made this record as well. You kind of feel it in the recording
Yeah.
of this album. Jamie Stewart, who was the bass player from Jump, pretty much, from Dreamtime, he jumped ship. He was out. He left the band. Matt Sorum, who was their touring drummer on the Sonic Temple tour, was supposed to record on this album, but he also jumped ship and went with Guns N' Roses.
So it was essentially those two with a sessions band
Yeah.
on this album, right?
A lot of session
Yeah.
musicians on this album.
It's
yeah.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, should we start out?
Yep.
First song is a title cut called Ceremony. And immediately, it's got this kind of Native American thing going on,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is a big kind of... Okay, so as you know, Ian Astbury was very much interested in Native American culture, despite the fact that
Right.
he's British from where? Do you remember which city?
Oh,
I don't remember now.
uh,
But he's really into it. And it shows up in a lot of their albums, but I think more so in this album than any of them.
It's
It's like all over the place.
I mean,
Yeah.
Spirit Walker might trump it a little bit, but
Okay.
it's more so on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spirit Walker just in lyrical content
Yeah.
and the way the album artwork looks.
Sure. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
But very much so on this.
Yeah.
He's embracing this side of himself,
Yeah.
being a shaman and, trying to
Yeah.
embrace his Jim Morrison side.
And trying to get in that kind of Native American spirituality.
Yeah.
And there's
And
a lot going on there.
He's another one that says, I'm part Native American somewhere. Aren't we all? If you're,
Yeah,
Aren't
yeah.
we all? If you,
Pocahontas. And I love this riff.
once again, Billy Duffy.
It's a classic Billy Duffy. It's got the languid kind of feel that, to me, actually kind of reminds me of Hell's Bells.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've got you've got
Bum, bum,
Ian
bum,
in
bum.
there, just like
Being-
talking about the
Once again, being mythic and
Yeah.
ethereal, and talking about
calling the tribe to
Right.
the ritual,
Right.
And that's what's going on here, right?
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
it's a mix of like a Native American thing and just like a rock event
yeah,
at the same time. Yeah,
which is a theme on this album. Period.
yeah.
So it's funny. But like you said yourself, not on any other record besides this is it so prevalent.
Yeah, I love this.
And, I mean, talk about a great album title for a band called The Cult.
Yeah,
Ceremony.
yeah.
So, yeah.
All right,
And
next
it's
up.
a great opener.
Yeah,
It really draws you in.
absolutely. I mean, you're there. You're in the circle now.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, second song, we've got Wild Hearted Son. Now, this was a single, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Off this album, yeah.
Yeah. Again, Native American chant.
And the first video, too.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it sounds very much like a single. I mean, it's got that drive, right?
Well, the thing about this single that I remember thinking about when it first came out, too, this sounds like it could have been on Sonic Temple. It
Okay,
sounds
yeah,
very similar to Firewoman,
Okay.
the structure of it, the whole nine. It smells a little bit like the record company wanted another Fire. I mean, listen to that.
Yeah.
Sounds
it's very
like they
much so,
wanted
yeah.
another Firewoman single.
I mean, this is not a radio-friendly album overall, but this song definitely is. It's
Yeah.
like they had to have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing about this whole record that we'll get into later.
Yeah.
For me, that I felt like you feel a real push and pull between Asbury and the record company on
Okay.
this.
So was that a thing? Do you know that that was a thing?
I don't know for sure, but,
But
it
you
just
can tell.
sounds like it to me on
Okay.
the album.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I heard this as a single, I still ran out and bought the record
Of course.
because I'm a cult
Yeah,
fan.
Of course.
But once again, it just sounded like this could have been on
Yeah.
Sonic Temple.
It's a good song.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, the lyrics are a little bit more personal
Yeah.
and rock and roll than Firewoman's very ethereal and very
Yeah.
mythic. This is a little bit more him talking about himself and being outside of society and
Yeah.
trying to connect with the rest of us who feel the same way. If you're listening to rock and roll, if you feel left out and etc., it's right there in the lyrics, so you can kind of connect.
Yeah.
So, but and the video is great and the whole thing, but at the same time, it's very, very. The video is very rock and roll. He's got his shirt off and the whole thing, and Billy Duffy's got his shirt off, and they've got leather pants on. But lyrically, if you listen to it, for me, everybody wants to be that character that he's portraying in the song,
Yeah.
a wild-hearted song. I live outside a convention.
Yeah.
I don't listen to you motherfuckers. I'm punk rock still. I'm rock and roll.
Uh-huh.
So he's really connecting with, the idea of being a rock guy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
born to the city, but I long to roam free.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah. Cool.
Screaming horse in my belly and a scar on my heart.
Again, all Native
Awesome.
American
Yep.
stuff is there as well.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, next up, Earth Mofo, right?
Earth motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. So he's thinking about the Earth Mother, but it's like this concept of the Earth being fucked over, right? Because there's an environmental kind of theme here,
Right.
I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
lyrically, that's the thing that kind of recurs in this album as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see the world all dripping red.
Yeah. I love the layered instrumentation on this one.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like on this one, the bass really stands out for me. Like, I can
Yeah.
really hear the bass is doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it carries the tune a little bit,
Yeah.
especially during the verses.
Yeah.
Billy's still doing his job,
Yeah.
layered guitars.
And he has a shredding guitar solo on this one.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It's a great song, and it's another pseudo opus on this album.
Yeah.
At almost 5 minutes, but still, it feels like an opus. Everything that's being said and played. And now, A Time for Justice in
Yeah.
the scene of a discontent. See, he's also one of my favorite rock vocalists of all time.
Okay,
Ian
tell me why.
Astbury. Just his delivery, his lyric writing. He always has some sort of something to say, and just tons of attitude.
And it's interesting you mentioned that. In terms of something to say, a lot of his songs are about Native American stuff, but also like a salvation thing.
Oh yeah,
Yearning
yeah.
for salvation, some kind of spiritualism.
Right,
And it's easy to say, like, okay, it's a superficial treatment of these things.
right.
But when so much of rock and roll is like, let's party, let's get drunk, let's have sex,
Excess, yeah.
I think it's kind of cool to have someone who's like, hey, I'm really talking about myself and like, reaching some deeper meaning.
Right,
in
right,
things.
yeah.
I dig it personally.
I dig
Yeah.
it too, but every so often you gotta have that one song about, banging chicks. You gotta have that one song about taking drugs.
Did he do that? Like,
Yeah,
can you
of
think of
course
one? Like,
yeah, I mean, on Electric.
sure,
you know.
yeah, that was. I mean, okay, let me
You know.
ask you this. So, which of their albums did you feel like pushed the most into rock and roll, Electric or Sonic Temple?
You know what?
Like basic rock and roll.
I would say Electric.
I would say too. Yeah,
Electric,
yeah, because
more
that was
than-
like full on.
Yeah,
It's like they abandoned all pretense. It's like this is a rock album, a hard rock
exactly.
album.
Exactly. They really did. They embraced just being a rock band
Yeah,
during the Electric era.
yeah,
with all the excess that came.
I mean, they covered "Born to Be Wild" for God's sake. You know, how much more rock and roll can you get?
Well, they were British kids, and so they were young British men.
Yeah.
They didn't know about Steppenwolf so much, or they did.
But what's interesting about that, and when you think about where they came from,
Yeah,
you
right.
know, I hate to use this word, but I'm going to use this word. I'm using it in heavy quotation marks.
Okay.
Crossover. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I was back on the West Coast, when I was hearing the Cult, I heard them on two stations.
Okay.
One, the basic rock station, and the other, what they called the modern rock station back then. Again,
Okay.
quotation marks.
Modern or alternative?
At that point, they called it modern rock still.
Okay.
It began to be called alternative.
Right.
But that was a catch-all term that included like new wave like Depeche Mode, post-punk like The Cure and like Psychedelic Furs,
Right.
College radio shit like REM,
Right.
and what have you, gothic stuff like Sisters of Mercy and the
The
Cult.
Sisters, yeah.
The Cult was considered kind of gothy.
Yeah. Well, when they started out, yeah.
Yeah. Like their first album is full-on goth, I think.
You mean Dreamtime or
Dreamtime,
Love?
Dreamtime,
Well,
yeah.
and Love as
Love,
well.
Love, yeah.
Love as well.
And Ian Astbury came from Southern Death Cult, which is a
Right.
very gothy band.
Right.
And Billy Duffy was with Theater of Hate,
Right.
which is an incredible goth band.
Right.
Yeah, but
Right.
then it's like every album took them a step away from that.
Yeah.
And Electric was full on rock.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It really
Yeah.
was.
It's an interesting progression.
Well, they had the three name changes. It was Southern Death Cult,
Yeah.
where Astbury was involved with those guys.
Yeah.
And then it was Death Cult, and that's where Duffy joined,
Okay, so Duffy was in on that.
was
okay.
in Death Cult, and then they just became the Cult.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when they released Dreamtime.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It bridged my two worlds back then, in
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a cool way.
Yeah.
I was into both kind of genres of music at that
Right.
point. Yeah.
Well, I remember the first time I heard She Sells Sanctuary, I was at a house party when I was younger.
You're still young.
The guy that was the DJ, couldn't really call him a DJ, he was a guy spinning records.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? Who is that?
Yeah.
And he was like, it's the Cult. And I was like, holy crap, I got to get that.
Yeah.
And I was lifelong fan ever since.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's back when they hadn't had a full record at that point. It was just a single. She Sells Sanctuary.
Okay.
It was the single that they released.
Wait,
they didn't
so-
have the record out yet.
So that's off of Love, right?
Yeah.
But they had Dreamtime.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. So that single
I
came
went
out
back,
before.
yeah.
I got you. Okay.
I
hear
went
you.
backwards.
Yeah.
Once I got Love,
yeah.
I went backwards and
Yeah.
found and paid way too much for a cassette.
Yeah.
For a cassette of it because it was
Uh-huh.
kind of out of print
Yeah.
at that point. They re-released it once Love really hit big. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was my first
Yeah.
experience with the Cult. And like I said, when I remember being in high school and Electric came out,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh wow, the same band, really? Holy
Yeah,
shit!
yeah.
And I really got into it because I was getting into heavier rock at that point and the whole thing. Big AC/DC fan, so it kind of slotted right in for me.
Yeah.
And being a Cult fan anyway. And I remember so many other friends of mine at the time saying, I wish they would have stayed with what they were doing. Why are they changing to just straight up rock? They should have stayed gothic rock. Mm-hmm. Especially girls that I knew in high school. They liked it more when it was gothic rock. But, I kept moving with them, and I expected that from them with every album. And they kind of did for a little while. Mm-hmm. Every album was different.
Yeah.
And that made me a big fan.
Yeah.
Because every record they put out was different than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I stuck with them, for so long.
Cool. Okay, next up. All right, now we've got White. And this one goes fully Native American. We've got a hunter on a stallion. We've got a hawk, a deer. This
A
is
pure
almost,
white stallion, by the way.
Yeah, this is almost like it takes up where Earth Mofo left off, because you've got the same kind of imagery. And snow symbolizes the purity of the earth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The barbarians are on the horizon, and we know who the barbarians are. It's epic. I think it's the most epic song on this album,
It is. It's another, like you said, it's a continuation from Earth Mofo
Yeah.
and really ups the ante.
Tribal beat.
Oh, yeah.
I love a tribal beat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think his vocals are spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular on this album. Mm-hmm. Very, very clear. Mm-hmm. I think the production that Richie Zito did on this really captured his vocals.
Okay.
More so than previous albums.
Okay.
and he's really giving it, because I think Astbury really wants to connect with his audience on this album. No effects. I mean, he's got some background singers here and there, but for the most part, his vocals are very clean sounding. Now, I'm sure they did some magic in the studio to make them sound so clean
Sure.
at the same time, but really on songs like this, like White and other songs that are on the album, his vocals really shine for me.
Okay. Yeah.
And showing that he was at, on Sonic Temple, he was at the height of his powers, and on this album too. He was at the height of his powers vocally, and very confident with his delivery, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Like I said, being such a fan of and being influenced by the man Ian Astbury. Beautiful vocals.
Yeah.
You know, very, very, very impressive. Where you can see the range and the whole nine. Like I said, I don't know if it's studio magic, and if it is, don't tell me it is. Because when you listen to his vocals on this, like I said, they're so crisp and pristine and, you know, so great sounding.
Cool.
Especially on a track like this. You know?
Now, when in the guitar part here, the chords, there's a chord structure that I just, for my own sake, I call it the epic chord, because it kind of sounds like the same kind of chords used on songs like Kashmir or Stargazer by Rainbow.
Right.
And I don't know what that is, because I don't have a musical like knowledge to talk about it. But it's like it's a chord form
Progression.
or something.
It's a chord progression.
Or maybe like a, because okay, so like with a chord you've got like an A, you've got like the the A diminished, like chords on a guitar.
Yeah.
And the A7, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like that kind of form.
Right.
I sound like a moron right
It's
now.
a progression.
I don't know if it's a progression. It's like a certain kind of just form of a chord that just feels like an epic thing to me.
Okay.
I sound like an idiot because I can't talk about music as well as a lot of people can.
You really got to
But
point out exactly where it is.
Okay, but
for me.
it's it comes in. It's a bow, bow, bow. It's that kind of part.
Yeah, you're no good
I
at
think
this.
I think they lost
You're
it.
no good
I
at-
think they lost it. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
hear it. We don't
right.
hear it. Wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, there. You kind of
It's a crescendo. Almost. I can't
maybe
pick out exactly
it's something.
what
It's
you-
something very specific
Okay,
that I
you're-
only hear on certain songs like this.
Right,
That
okay.
are epic songs.
And
yeah.
you're hearing it in a different way than I can't grasp it.
Maybe. Yes.
So-
it's because I don't know how to talk about music. It's a problem, basically. But it's
Neither do I.
it's-
And I've made music.
It's why it. But for me, bottom line, it contributes to the epic feel for me of this song.
Okay.
Like just like this is like a world-changing mythic song.
All right. So
That's what I'm going for.
and you're saying
Yeah.
it goes ba 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 or ba
Some-
ba.
I don't think it's a progression. It's more like there's something about it.
A change or
I think it's the form of the chord, and I don't even know how to say that. With that, yeah, there are people way out there who are much more knowledgeable about this stuff than we are. Who
Mark.
can tell us.
Let's call Mark.
Lifeline,
And
please.
he'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
What is he talking about? I don't know. I don't get what he's talking about. Jesus Christ.
All right, next song. I'm done on this one.
Just Google it.
Next up, we've got If. Now, this one catches you a little bit off guard with the piano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect this from the Cult, especially clean piano.
Yeah.
No organ, no echo, no nothing. Very, like I said, very once again personal intimate with Astbury's vocals.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another song about a yearning for spiritual renewal.
Right.
You know, that's coming through.
For
definitely.
all of us, actually.
Yeah. And then when the guitar comes in, the guitar riff kind of starts improvising on the same melodic line
Right.
as the piano here,
Right.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like the way that happens.
It kind of kicks right in
Yeah.
once Astbury's done giving us that great vocal, and then bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is very The Cult, and very synonymous with Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
Just stripped down, you know.
You're saying this one is more stripped down than Sonic Temple?
Oh yeah, this whole record,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
and I kind of enjoy that about this record.
Yeah.
I feel like they were moving away from the commercial success that The Cult was,
Yeah.
and trying to make a more stripped down, good rock record.
This was not as well received,
It wasn't
right?
at all.
Yeah. Now,
No,
why
it
do
wasn't.
you think that is? It's a really good album.
Well, I think it was, it came out at a time where grunge,
Oh my God, there's that word, grunge.
I hate the word, but so many other bands were taking off, and The Cult was kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
You had Pearl Jam, you had, Soundgarden started hitting big. So the days of arena rock, and The Cult kind of got thrown into that,
Yeah.
kind of, where they weren't really an arena rock band to begin with. They kind of got thrown into that and forgotten a little bit,
Yeah. Okay.
which is kind of sad. Because this is a good record. I think it suffers from a few different things that we'll talk about.
Okay.
Like I said already, that I feel like Astbury was kind of pushing against the record company Beggar's Banquet, Sire Records, at the time, to make a record that he was more happy with.
Okay.
And to show fans that, I'm a thinking guy.
Yeah.
I know you're thinking people. And guess what? I read a book or two.
Yeah.
Because he does have a couple of quotes out of a couple different books on this album.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me to see how fickle the average fan can be when it comes to, here's the guy with all the crazy long hair and leather pants, and now he's trying to actually talk to me about stuff that matters. I just want to hear Firewoman. I just want to hear,
But he was always doing that. From Dreamtime on.
Here and there.
Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, It's just,
but here and there.
Okay.
When people got to know The Cult was love, and then they changed to rock and roll, and then they changed to, Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
So, it was a whole, if you're not a big fan, it was a stretch for the average fan, for me.
Sure. Okay.
Like I said, I was there from Jump,
Yeah.
and love all the stuff that they've done. I still have the records that they put out after Ceremony.
Yeah.
I have all of them.
Yeah.
I could see why the average fan would not hang with this so
That's a
much
shame.
after Sonic Temple.
Okay.
I could see that.
All right, next up. And this is Full Tilt. Now, this opening riff sounds much more rock than most of this album.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this to me sounds much more like the Electric album
Oh, yeah.
than this album,
I love this song.
It's
It
a
is
good
balls
song.
out rock.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But then the lyrics are also a lot of that more yearning to free the soul thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the riff, you can't deny.
It's-
and it just
it's
gets
really
you,
solid,
it gets you
yeah.
up and gets your fist pumping.
Yeah.
I love this line. Gunfire ricochets off my halo. Great lyric.
It's like they've integrated all their kind of the phases they've gone through and brought them into this album.
Right.
You
That's
know?
that's a great
Which is pretty amazing.
that's a great thing to say. Yeah, I feel that too on certain songs, especially this one too.
It encapsulates them
Yeah.
up to this point.
Once again, I think when it comes to great rock bands, when it comes to two songwriters, if there's tension, they put out their best work.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's like the White Album is one of the Beatles' best albums.
Yeah,
you
you
know
know.
that's when they hate each other.
Like I said, Aerosmith, the Beatles,
Yeah.
So many other rock bands.
Yeah.
When there's a lot of tension between the two songwriters, you get this wild amalgamation
Yeah.
of just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just, I can't
Yeah,
describe
it's
it besides,
it's this aggressive energy or something like that.
yeah, which is great.
You just feel it. It's a good song.
I mean, you can hear Duffy just saying, let's rock.
Yeah.
And Astbury saying, I want to say something.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I really want to teach. I want to teach the audience something. And Duffy's just like, just shut up
Duffy's
and rock.
like, get a fucking PhD. I'm rocking out of here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and, once again, you look at the cover for Sonic Temple,
Yeah.
and I love the cover.
It's iconic. Yeah.
It is iconic. You got Billy Duffy, legs stretched, arm raised in the air, head down, waiting to hit that power chord, and you got this image of Asbury behind him with his hair thrown
Yeah.
in all different directions, just enthrall with rock.
Yeah.
But, you know, with this album cover, which we'll get into a little
Yeah,
bit later,
we will.
it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
subdued.
It's a different thing.
As
yeah,
opposed.
yeah.
So, you know, like I said, if you're a fan and you pick up this record, it's like, whoa,
What's
wait a
going
minute,
on here?
what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah.
Besides the title,
Yeah.
you're like, wait, what happened to the cult? What am I in for?
Yeah.
And you are in for a ride when it comes to this.
It's a different thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Right. Next song. Oh yeah. Okay. That's good.
super fat, funky.
Funky. Right. This is Heart of Soul, another single, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna start us off with one thing here, Walt.
Yeah.
Until the vocals come in, this to me sounds like a Guns N' Roses song
Okay. I want to interject.
with the guitar as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Acoustic and lead.
Do the comparison because I don't want to say Billy Duffy stole it,
Okay.
but the opening riff
yeah.
is very, very similar to Skid Row's
Okay.
I Remember You.
Okay.
Very, very similar.
Okay.
Skid Row's I Remember You. And almost note
okay.
for note.
All right.
Almost. And once again, I think this was where maybe the record company, if the Cult decided they wanted another hit, okay.
Sure.
But it seems like the record company said, well, we want another Edie Child Baby or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because this really stinks of power ballad.
It is very, very radio friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I dig some of the lyrics and the whole thing, and I know what he was going for, but at the same time,
Yeah. No,
I can't get down with this one as
I
much.
feel you. I feel
You
you.
know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like you said, the lyrics are good. This idea that you've got to bleed, you know, for like the rock and roll lifestyle.
Right.
You know, like it's just there's something there.
Yeah, yeah.
But overall,
Gotta bleed a little while you're singing.
Yeah.
I get it, you know?
There's something simplistic about the musical construction of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, and like I said, do the comparison.
Okay, I
And
don't know that
people
song,
out there,
but I should. Yeah.
Do the
Okay.
comparison, and we'll do it when
Okay.
we're off mic.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
show you. It's very, very
Okay.
similar to
All right.
Skid Row's I Remember You.
Okay.
So I don't know if Billy Duffy was maybe taking a piss and just said, well, fuck it, you want a single? I'll copy this.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know? Still, at the same time, he's fucking Billy Duffy. He shouldn't have to copy anybody's licks
Exactly. Why would you? Come on.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, but this one just, like you said, stinks of not the Cult that we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
This really smells like, oh man,
feel
no,
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, no good, no good, no
Yeah.
good.
Let's
So-
move on.
So I guess this is my bullet to the head one. You know.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Okay, now we've got Bangkok Rain. Now, it's unusual for the Cult to begin with this kind of bombastic guitar blast, I feel.
Okay.
You know, they usually start with some kind of hook line,
Right.
but this is just like, boom, like right out of the gate. It's,
Right.
it's much more metal way to begin a song.
Right.
Again, I feel like it's throwback to electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were also on tour with Metallica during the Sonic Temple days.
Okay.
So maybe they picked up a trick or two
Yeah,
when it comes
yeah,
to, you know,
yeah.
just opening up, you know, just being
Yeah,
full
it's like,
force. Yeah, hit you over the head.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the song a lot. The lyrical content is cool because it's, once again, it's Asbury trying to say to the fans and the audience, you know, I traveled a little bit, and maybe you should too, and it's kind of a good thing to do, and et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel about it?
I want to know, what did he take in Bangkok to let him hear the butterfly woman talking? Because that's why I want to go to Bangkok.
Really? Just to hear butterfly
No,
women talking?
No, I hear you.
Well,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
once
yeah.
again
It's-
him being
yeah,
mythical.
exactly. It's
about his
there's that
lyrical
aspect
content,
about there's a through line in this album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stands out for me because it's got that really heavy kind of riff.
Yeah, yeah.
And with Billy Duffy, usually it's this kind of like drawn out, just kind of psychedelic, like
Till he gets you.
yeah. He's doing something different, which I can respect.
Right. Well, I like on this record, I think Asbury does more of his storytelling than he had before. He didn't do it on Sonic Temple as much.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it on Dreamtime where he's telling a story.
Yeah.
He's back to doing that on this record, where with his lyrics, they tell a story. Standing in a bar in Bangkok,
Yeah.
you know, he's telling a story to people, to the audience. So I enjoy that, and I think that that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Of course, you know, you can only tell a story so much in a, 4-minute song.
Yeah.
So, you got to kind of crimp it, so to speak, or cut it, and then get to, a chorus of some kind.
Yeah.
So,
All right, moving on.
just get a little Duffy solo in there.
Yeah, it's good.
I
Yeah.
think he's one of the most underrated
Oh.
guitar players.
Yeah, absolutely.
rock, period.
Totally. Now we've got Indian, and as you can tell from the title, we're back on the reservation for this one, right?
Yeah.
Back to Native American imagery. The whole blood thing comes back with the image of blood red wine, and this is all acoustic guitar and cello,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's really
And
nicely
percussion,
done.
some percussion.
Some percussion. Yeah.
It's a very romantic song.
Incredibly so. Yeah, Indian
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Asbury's vocals are fantastic on it. This is like a Valentine's Day song.
Yeah.
To put on for your lover and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Especially what he delivers with the story that he's telling.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. And I can't talk about how he's done pretty songs before. On this album, this is one of the standout tracks for me.
It really is.
Because
right?
it does stick out like a sore thumb,
Yeah.
but I could see why he would want to have this on this album. It's a different cult. Once again, it's a different band.
Musically, it sticks out, but thematically, it's in line with the album, with the thematic content.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
But sonically,
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
Although
Although I feel like this album goes to so many places that this no longer surprises me.
right? Okay.
Which is, and I think there's a wonderful range of textures in this album,
Right.
but it doesn't feel like it's all over the place at all. It feels unified still.
This is one of those albums where, like you said, track to track, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Kind of like their career almost.
Yeah.
Every album has been different. This album, track to track, very different.
Yeah.
You get one pop hit, you get, one that's supposed to be AOR, radio hit, and then you get this.
Yeah.
So it's hard to peg,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And like I said, I could see why the casual cult fan would not dig this record.
Yeah.
Because there's no theme to it, really, besides just what you expressed, what you talked about.
Uh-huh.
The
And
American Indian.
you gotta think about that.
Yeah,
You gotta think about the whole salvation concept.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a great song, very beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, well,
And
speaking
the
of
arrangement.
salvation, our next song is literally called Sweet Salvation.
Sweet Salvation.
Yeah. And he's looking for salvation in a woman's arms. It basically leads from the previous track. You've got the acoustic thing going on.
Once again, this
Yeah.
was one of the songs. I kind of felt like, what's happening here with the cult?
Yeah.
When I first heard it, I felt like it was very, I don't know, Queen influenced.
Okay,
For
I
me.
hear that. Yeah, yeah. And there's a full-on gospel choir
Yeah,
in the background
there
that
is.
comes
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. So, don't get me wrong. I think the lyrics, once again, are very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Kind of invokes an emotion.
Yeah.
And once again, Asbury's vocals, Duffy playing, guitar,
Yeah.
acoustic guitar. It's beautiful.
It's infectious, I find.
But then it starts to lose me a little bit because
Really?
this isn't
Okay.
the cult I know.
It's not. It
know?
is not. No. No, they're going to a different place.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear everything that you're saying. I kind of go with it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of people really delivering it on this song.
Oh, sure. I
know?
mean, all the session musicians are really working their asses off on
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And the fact that the cult could pull that off is great. But like I said, it kind of loses me a little bit because I
Okay.
feel like this is where they're going into other territory experimentally. Like,
Yeah.
let's try to be like another band that we aren't.
Okay.
Let's try to be like Queen. Let's try to do this. Let's try to be something else. Which is great.
Huh. Actually, this reminds me of what they did with Revolution on Love.
Oh, well, with Revolution, that was very minimal. It was very
It
minimal.
was minimal, but again, I don't have the musical knowledge to like talk about it, but just something about the way that was presented. It just feels kind of in the same vein.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can see that.
Maybe
But-
there's simplicity to the melodies
Right.
in both these songs.
Right.
Simplistic but powerful.
Right.
I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I get it.
I think
Okay.
you're talking more about like the arrangement
Yeah, yeah.
and which
And the
is what I get.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
It is
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. It's very different. Yeah.
And kudos to them for doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
For crying out loud. I mean, so many other bands did just to try it out,
Yeah.
and they did it. But like I said, I remember the first time I heard this song, I was like, "What the hell is happening?
Yeah.
What's going on?"
Yeah.
It felt so odd and out of place for me. But time goes on, the whole thing, and I understand why. When you're a snotty kid and you get the record, you're just that ain't the Cult.
Yeah.
You get older and you go, all right, they tried something different.
It's it's a very mature effort from them.
Oh yeah,
I think that yeah. And talk thematically, I mean, this is kind of a concept album. Like this, there is a sort of yearning for salvation that comes through the whole album.
right,
And as we were talking about with the Corrosion of Conformity album last time,
right,
similar themes, but in this one, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
right,
On the COC album, there was not.
right.
That one, you end up, there's a brick wall that cuts you off
That's
from
it.
everything.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
And this one, there's a way out.
I mean, we're talking thematically apples and oranges. When it comes to the Cult, there's always supposed to be some, when it comes to Asbury's lyrics, there's always supposed to be some silver lining somewhere. With Pepper Keenan's vocals, not so much. He would just say, fight back.
In terms of the fact that they're both talking about struggle and redemption and that kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get
in
you.
that sense. Yeah.
But, Asbury's always saying, hey,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we can handle this. It's going to be
Exactly.
all right.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
very different
There's a
in that
higher
respect.
power in whatever way you
Yeah.
want to decide.
For him, it's like the stallion up in the sky or something.
Right,
it's
right.
Like it's some, it's
Why?
some shamanistic
Right,
thing. Yeah.
right. I don't know.
All right, last song. Wonderland. Yeah. We got more of a spoken word thing in the beginning
Oh yeah.
where Ian's kind of preaching at us, telling us what's what.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole thing here is kind of like this escape from a decadent city, right? Like you kind of got to get out, get back to nature. Earth Mother comes back.
Right, right.
Yeah.
The
Like
He Dog.
unifying everything.
That riff is awesome.
And I feel like what Billy Duffy's doing, it's much more understated, but it's
Yeah.
really effective.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't dominate as a lot of the songs.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Yeah, I just love that screaming kind of.
And see,
yeah.
once again, this is what I expect from the Cult.
Yeah.
It's very mythic.
Yeah, it's very mythic, yeah.
Kicking down the devil's door and
Yeah.
cheap thrills, baby. I need some more. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
This is the Asbury that we know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of coming back and saying, you know what? I tried to teach you something.
Yeah.
If you got it, you didn't. But you know what? I'm same as you.
Yeah.
I want to do the same shit that you want to do. So let's just be human beings and do it.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So the whole aspect of loss.
Yeah.
He's coming back to that again. Like, we can do whatever the fuck we want, but at the same time, we're losing, man. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it?
We're fucking up the earth.
Yeah.
We're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not helping each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I mean, I dig it when rock bands are willing to go that place.
Yeah.
Like, when they go there in kind of like a cliched manner, it seems lame.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But I feel like Ian feels it. I think he means
Yeah.
what he says.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, he's
I kind of
probably
dig that.
one of the few sincere rock stars
He's
out
very
there,
sincere,
you know.
and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I don't need irony.
Like I said,
I don't have a beard on. I'm not a hipster.
What's wrong with my beard?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your beard, but you're not ironic either.
No, true.
Yeah. It's not a hipster beard, by the way.
I don't know. It's a devil beard. But, I really feel like, once again, I got to reiterate
Yeah.
that Asbury tried to tell people from here,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of mine, great, stay with me. Because I just want to talk to you. And I know you're smart, I'm smart, you know.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing this.
Yeah.
You know. So that's why, you know, I still buy the records, I still go to the shows and the whole thing, because I feel like he's not treating me like a moron.
Yeah.
Like, you know, somebody that's just take my money because I want to go see your show, your rock show.
Yeah.
So I got to give it up.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I
to the
agree.
man a little
I
bit,
absolutely
you know.
agree. Yeah, I'm there with you.
So,
All right, so I think that covers our feelings for this album, right?
Yeah.
We like this album a lot.
oh yeah.
We're into it.
I do.
Totally.
I do especially.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard this album?
Before listening to it for this, you know, it's like every now and then I just go and I listen to all the Cult albums.
Yeah.
Just because I love the Cult.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
it's probably been 3 months or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're just one of those bands that I just go back to.
Nice.
They're just one of my
Nice.
major bands.
Yeah, same here. The Cult is in heavy rotation.
Yeah.
Whenever I play music, sometimes Karen gets a little like, she's like, you just had on Metallica, now you're doing this, now you're doing that, now it's a Cult. What? You were just playing, you know? Like, yeah, because I like to mix it up.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Cult kind of fits in there with whatever you're listening to. For me, when it comes to rock and metal,
Yeah.
you can put on the heaviest metal album that you own,
Yeah.
and then you can put on the Cult after, and it just kind of fits
Yeah.
right in there. For me, I think they're an amazing band. I think this is an underrated record.
Absolutely.
You know?
I absolutely agree, yeah. All right, let's talk about the cover of this album.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, like I was saying earlier, that it's so minimal
Yeah.
compared to the bombastic album cover that was Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
It's basically this young American Indian child with
Yeah.
headdress and the Colts logo on top and the name of the album underneath. Very, very minimal. The child looks pensive
Yeah.
in the whole nine. So very, very different from what they were doing previously when it came to Sonic Temple
yeah,
and
yeah.
Electric. So it kind of makes you wonder, is this intentional to say to listener, this is what you're in for? Or was it just an afterthought?
So when there's like pictures of kids, usually they look either like they're so cute that it's kind of repulsive,
Right?
or they look like little delinquent hellions.
Yeah.
So when I see a picture of a kid that kind of captures the kid in some dramatic like mode, that like capturing an old soul kind of pictures,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, you know, the picture of that Afghan girl with
Yeah,
the green
yeah, yeah,
eyes, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's like you just feel like
National
like this
Geographic.
depth to her. That's kind of what this picture is like. It's like you just feel like this kid's got like an old soul. So I'm automatically drawn to that kind of dramatic thing in a kid.
Right.
And he's got like these stripes on his cheeks. And every time I see stripes on anyone's cheeks, I think those are like war stripes.
Yeah.
Even though he's a kid, so he probably didn't go to war, but still, it's more badass to think that they're like war stripes.
Right.
So I'm all in for this album cover. I think it's an amazing.
You know what's funny is that the
Yeah.
parents of the kid actually sued
I
the
heard
band.
about that, yeah.
They sued the band for
And they did,
something whopping like $60 million.
because they used it without permission, right?
Yeah.
And they did pay up.
Yeah. But they did?
Or they settled. I
Okay.
don't think, they may not have paid that amount, but they did settle with the family.
Really?
So
Huh.
maybe they did something shitty. If they did, they made it right.
Okay.
You know, I mean that is a whole other issue. I mean, we can get into cultural appropriation,
Right.
With the whole, but I don't know if I want to. Do you?
I don't know. No. Kind of not.
I mean,
Well-
yeah, okay. So of course the Cult, they're not Native Americans. They're capturing all this Native American imagery, but so fucking what? I mean,
Right,
you know,
right.
how many people talk about the Wounded Knee Massacre anymore?
Right.
Did you learn about that in high school?
No,
I
no,
didn't either.
no.
You know, Cult actually sang a song about it, so maybe people know about it now.
Asbury afterwards, or while they were going through the suit, started the Gathering of the Tribes to raise money.
Exactly.
This is
yeah.
before
Yeah,
Lollapalooza.
and I saw that concert
Yeah.
actually.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I did.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The cult didn't perform.
No, it did
It
not.
was just to try and raise money for Native American tribes in
Yeah,
India,
yeah.
for medicines and what have you.
Yeah.
So, and then that they're getting sued. It's
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
kind of a cash grab. But
Yeah.
I remember Asbury saying that it wasn't that they took the picture or any of their people.
Yeah.
It just kind of floated by
Yeah.
their desk on their
Yeah,
radar.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And didn't think.
They didn't.
Yeah,
they
didn't
didn't know
think-
that they had to do this
Right,
due
you gotta
diligence.
find out who is
Exactly.
this person. Can we use the
I
image?
don't really. I mean, it's a great image. I think it's really solid. Yeah,
Well, I like the back too as well.
back is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the big headdress.
yeah.
You know.
No, it's awesome.
The type is a little too big for my taste.
Okay,
It's
all
pretty
right.
cool.
We like the album cover. So,
Yeah.
gun to the head.
Gun to the head, gun to the bang bang.
You can't extend it just by singing the song. But
I'm stalling. I know I'm stalling.
such a stall.
All right. Sweet Salvation. I'll dump it.
That's your dump.
I'll dump it. Yeah. I'll dump it.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll dump it.
All right. Mine is Heart of Soul.
I get that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that
like
too.
Sweet Salvation. but-
I'll dump Sweet
Okay.
Salvation over Heart
no,
of Soul.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay. All right. Top.
Torn between Full Tilt and Wonderland.
Good choice.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll go Wonderland.
Wow. Cool.
My
Okay.
top, Wonderland.
All right. I like that.
Well, what about you?
White.
Okay.
It's that epic thing. I don't know. I love that song. It's such a good song. Yeah.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. This CD feels like when If stops,
Yeah.
that's side one. And
Okay.
then when Full Tilt starts, that feels like side two to me.
I can hear that.
You know what I mean?
I can hear that. Yeah.
When we actually
hear
had
that,
to
yeah.
flip records,
Yeah.
that's what it sounds like to me.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Cool. All right. I think we did this well. Let's wrap this up. Well, we love this album. We love the cult. That is obvious. So we're going to move on from the C's into the D's, I think. What do you think?
Well, I'm thinking to start off with the D's. Let's do a Danzig album.
Okay. I like that. You have one in mind.
I'm thinking Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. All
Excellent.
right, people. So we are Useless Info Inc. with Anti-Seminal. You can find us many places. On YouTube, on WordPress, on Pinecast. Nobody knows what Pinecast is.
I don't know what the hell that
Nobody
is.
Well, I'm working on it. I'm working on getting us into more places.
Pinecast.
Yeah. So, yeah. Come back at us. Hear us with Danzig next time. And I am Max.
I'm Walt.
Goodbye.
Rock and roll.